So in terms of granulation on this paper, there is obviously granulation here. There are different levels, and I can even see granulation in the colors that I haven't seen on other papers. The only colors that I don't notice granulation on this paper is the Helios Purple, Rose Madar Lake, Alizarin Crimson Lake, and perhaps Quinacridone Gold and Lemon Yellow. And phthalo blue, I suppose is okay. So it's hard to judge on this paper, but it definitely looks very granulating for Sennelier red and red orange. And the other thing is, these colors look incredibly opaque. They almost look like chalk. So there is, if you compare it to this, for example, color, you see how very intense it is, but you can still see the paper. Here you can't see anything. So if I bring it close up. So for me, that's not a watercolor I would like. So now let's go over the pigment information, because I haven't done this in the previous videos. So let's start with Cobalt Blue. So Cobalt Blue is a series 4 with and it's claimed to be transparent. Now I will pull up my transparency test, which I have done in the previous video. You can go and have a look, and let's compare it. So on my transparency test, it definitely, let me actually see better, and I'll just pull it up here. So it claims to be transparent, but on the transparency test, hopefully you can see that it's definitely not transparent. I wouldn't say it's opaque, but it's semi-opaque for sure. And it is to be expected with Cobalt Blue, so I'm quite surprised why they claim it's transparent. If you wonder what paper this is the Stillman and Byrne watercolor or mixed media paper, and it's the 270 GSM, and this one is the cold pressed, I think. So it's a good paper. There's nothing wrong with this paper. Next one is, oh yeah, and pigment wise it's PB 28, so it's a single pigment. I haven't done that. So French Ultramarine is series 2, and it's also supposed to be transparent, and yes, it does show up as transparent. Pigment wise, it has 2 pigments in there. I would prefer to have a single pigment French Ultramarine. In this case it's PB 29 and PB 15. Next one is sorry, I just probably should zoom out just slightly. So next one is series 1 Phthalo Blue, and they say again it's supposed to be transparent, and yes it is. The pigment is PB15:3, and it's supposed to be good for light fastness. Next one is series 1 Sennelier Yellow Deep, and they say it's semi-opaque. In fact, it is fully opaque, so I hope you can see the line here. That is definitely opaque in my book. And pigment wise it's PY83 and PY153. This is a yellow that I really didn't get on with, and as a matter of fact I'll show you a little illustration which I attempted to do by adopting some of the Billy Shoal techniques, so this glazing kind of thing, and I had to in the end use a lot of Daniel Smith, which I had on another palette, yellows, because it just was so hard to work with, and no matter how I tried to mix this Sennelier Yellow Deep, it never looked good. So I really dislike this color, and I would, if it was up to me, I would not include it. Okay, so now let's look at the next one, and also for light fastness it's very good. Next one, Lemon Yellow. Series 1, transparent they say, and it's PY3. It's definitely not transparent because you can see that there are opacity levels here for sure. If you compare it next to Quinacridone Gold, where you see a very clear black line, then that gives you a good indication that that is what transparent is. So lemon yellow, again, not agreeing with their transparency. And yeah, and for light fastness it's good. Next one is Quinacridone Gold, and their Quinacridone Gold is apparently series 3. I prefer Schmincke Quinacridone Gold and Daniel Smith over this one. I don't think this is a very pretty or attractive Quinacridone Gold out of all Quinacridone Golds that I've tried. However, it does look lovely on the 100% cotton paper. So here is a big concoction of pigments. So like I said, it is transparent, and then it's PR 101, PR 150, PY 150, and PR 206. So it's a 3 pigment mix, which I would prefer to have less, because it means that you're likely, the more pigments there are in a watercolor, if you mix it with other watercolors, the more likely it is to become muddy. And for light fastness, we have, of course, no rating. Next one is series 3, sorry, the Dioxis Purple series 3, and it's says to be semi-opaque. According to my transparency test, I couldn't really decide whether it is, because it's so dark that I just can't see the line, because it's kind of almost looks black. But I don't think that it actually is opaque, because when I look at it and let the color play and reflect, I still can see the black line. So to me, I'm not sure I would call this color a semi-opaque. I feel like it's more on a transparent side. And then also it is a PV23, so it's a single pigment, and in terms of the light fastness, it's average. Next one is series 3. Sorry, I should have gone up rather than down, but doesn't matter really. So series 3 is also transparent. It's the Helios Purple, and yeah, I mean, if anything, it could be semi-transparent, but it's more transparent. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, and that is PR 122, and it is average as well for light fastness. Next one is series 2, transparent, they say, and it's Rose Madder Lake, and it's definitely semi-transparent. If you look at it right here and compare it to here, you can see how much blacker the line is throughout, and that here it gets a little bit less black, and that indicates semi-transparency or semi-opaqueness. And then in terms of the light fastness, it says very good. Alizarin Crimson is a series 3, and it says to be also transparent. As you can see, out of them, just the 2 they claim to be semi-transparent, the rest they say it's transparent, and I have shown you that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors are actually not. So Alizarin Crimson Lake is right here, and it's a transparent color. Looks lovely and black, the line, so it's all good. And it's a PR 83, so single pigment, and it's supposed to be average for light fastness, so not very good. Series 2, here's we're coming to the red, which is the other color under question. It's they say it's transparent. It's very, very surprising to me that they would claim that this is a transparent color, because it's absolutely not. It's not even semi-transparent. It's not even semi-opaque. It's 100% opaque to me. And here on the test, you can see that. Again, compare it to this line, you can see the big difference. And PR254 is the single pigment, and of course for light fastness it's not rated, which is not great because yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Finally, we have the orange color, which is the series 3. Again, they claim it to be transparent, and I'll let you see the transparency right here. It's not as opaque as these two, so I would probably say it's on a similar level as the cobalt blue, but slightly more actually. So I'd say it's a semi-opaque. And what else? It's PO43 and PY83, and it's very good for light fastness. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colors out of 12 that are single pigmented, so that's good. Okay, so to sum up, I would not recommend this palette for beginners because you have to really have a certain level of knowledge about watercolors to be able to actually enjoy these watercolors. Also, you have to keep in mind that this watercolor is not designed to be used on any other paper other than the 100% sort of cotton high quality paper. And yes, it will be definitely best suited for already experienced botanical watercolorist, because as a beginner you will have so much trouble achieving that transparency and needing to glaze, and glazing is a complicated technique as it is, because you can overwork things really quickly. And yeah, in terms of greens as well, you can have a look in my video, but I didn't get enough greens or enough interesting greens with these 6 colors that you provided, the 6 yellows and the 6 blues. So all over and in general, you know, I will obviously try and use these watercolors because they are beautiful, but they do require a lot of attention, and it's not something that you could just pick up out of a you know, another palette and put it onto any kind of paper and it would look fantastic. It's not. So this palette requires a lot of attention and a lot of knowledge, I think, and I definitely will try and use it because it was recommended by Billy Showell, and I have 2 of her books now, and I'm intending to get maybe one of her other books next year. And I do want to embrace the botanical art and learn how to do it, but you know, if that's what you want to do, then it would be a great palette to have, and it's definitely a great palette to give to already an established botanical watercolorist. But like I said, if you're a beginner, I just think there are other watercolors such as Schminke Horadam, White Nights by Niewska Pelitra, or even Magellas that you will really enjoy. But if I had to pick 2 that are kind of fail proof and super fun to use, that for me would be White Nights, Niewska Pelitra, and Schminke Horadam. So that's just my own opinion, and I hope it helped you and answered some of your questions. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you soon.